Hello, happy Monday, April 13th. I'm very happy to have you here on the show today. I've got the gang from Podjam 3. That's right. Wajahat Ali, JL Cauvin, and the black guy who tips, Rod Morrow, join me on today's show because I am bringing you what we did together out here in Las Vegas, where I still am, but headed back today. That is what I've got. It is like a 90-minute or hour and a half show, and you are going to really want to make sure you stay for the Waj and JL stuff. Probably some of the funnier stuff I've done here on the podcast, and we had a great time. Rod, JL, and Waj together was a really exciting combination and panel, and the live audience added a real great element to it. Obviously, we had a lot of fun with everybody who joined us in Las Vegas for Podjam 3, and you can hear it coming up because it starts at 28 minutes or so into the show. But believe it or not, I still put together some clips and headlines for you here on a Monday, even though it's also a travel day. So gonna get to that right now. But just again, thank you to everybody who joined us. It's been an amazing week. I am so happy to be a part of this wonderful community of human beings and to hang out with you and party with you and hike with you and eat with you. Or God forbid you had to eat with me. Not fun. Yeah, it's just amazing. So thank you so much for joining us. Each and every member of this community. If you've never joined us in person, I highly encourage you to. I don't have a next event, but we certainly will. Go to patreon.com/Pete Dominic and join us. Join us at this Thursday's hangout. Get to know people. It's going to be a great one. You're not going to want to miss this Thursday's hangout. Patreon.com/Pete Dominic. Many more thanks to Cassie and Becca and their whole family in Las Vegas who produced, hosted, and worked so hard to make it all happen. And now it's time for today's news and clips. And believe it or not, the biggest news isn't the dispute between the Pope and the president, the fact that the president put out an image of him as Jesus. No, that's not it. It's not the surprisingly unshocking failure of talks with J.D. Vance and his Iranian counterparts. No, it's the election in Europe where Viktor Orban was soundly defeated by opposition leader Peter Magyar in the elections, and it's just so consequential for so many reasons. The Associated Press, Viktor Orban conceded defeat after what he called a, quote, painful election result, ending 16 years in power for a powerful figure in the far-right movement allied with Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Partial official results show opposition leader Peter Magyar's party dominating the vote in a bombshell election result with repercussions ahead Europe and beyond. It is a major blow for Orban, the EU's longest-serving leader and one of the biggest antagonists of the EU, who has traveled a long road from his early days as a liberal anti-Soviet firebrand to the Russia-friendly nationalist admired today by the global far right. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says, quote, Europe's heart is beating stronger in Hungary tonight. Hungary has chosen Europe. Europe has always chosen Hungary. Together, we are stronger. A country reclaims its European path. The union grows stronger. Reuters says that Magyar's victory will likely spell an end to Hungary's adversarial role inside the EU and possibly open the way for a $105 billion loan to war-battered Ukraine that has been being blocked by Viktor Orban. Timothy Snyder, historian, says Hungarians showing how to win big in unfair election, organize and protest and vote and demand profound change. And I thought this was a very interesting reaction from UK historian Ian Richardson, who wrote, I suspect the populist right bubble is bursting the world over. Trump is a busted flush. Orban will likely be hammered tomorrow. Bolsonaro is incarcerated and Farage is looking more like a loser with each passing day. These guys only offer anger and hate, not solutions and progress. So he obviously wrote that before Orban lost, but a huge loss. Also looks terrible for J.D. Vance. We're all making jokes that we want him to come and campaign for the people that we don't want to win, like MAGA Mike Lawler, my congressional representative. So that was big news, and we'll talk all about it with experts and each other. I am sure Kevin Richburg and Bill Boyle have a lot to say and are very relieved as well. We've been talking about that with them. And now on to the diplomatic relations between Iran and the U.S. Not going well. After J.D. Vance's attempt to negotiate a peace deal with Iran failed in Pakistan, Donald Donald Trump, the orangest loser in the world, took to Truth Social on Fox yesterday morning to announce that he was escalating the conflict to a complete blockage of all shipping from every country out of the Strait of Hormuz. New York Times reports that three main sticking points remained, according to Iranian officials. The reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran said it would do so only after a final peace deal. The fate of nearly 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium. Iran made a counterproposal, but the sides were unable to reach a compromise. And Iran's demand that about $27 billion in frozen revenues held abroad be released. Democratic Senator Andy Kim said, did J.D. Vance think he was going to solve decades of disputes with Iran in one day? He spent 5 days in February hanging out at the Olympics. Iran got highest level negotiations with America ever, still controls the Strait of Hormuz, while Vance appears to be giving up. Diplomacy takes enormous planning, technical expertise, and persistent engagement, especially in wartime. Our service members in harm's way and Americans struggling with gas prices deserve serious negotiations, not the performance we just saw. So that's the latest with Iran. Oh, and meanwhile, over the weekend, Marco Rubio and Donald Trump were at a UFC match, so they're taking it pretty seriously, I'm sure. And the other big story over the weekend and over the past few days has been the scandal around Representative Eric Swalwell of California. Of course, he's running for governor, or was last night. He suspended his campaign, and the scandal is ballooning and could jolt a surge of expulsion votes for at least three of his House colleagues as soon as the chamber returns from recess next week. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who's a Republican, has announced plans to force a vote next week to expel Swalwell. Well, Democrats are responding with a plan to counter with a vote to expel Representative Tony Gonzalez of Texas. If those votes succeed, votes then to expel Representatives Corey Mill of Florida, who's a Republican, and Sheila Cheerfless McCormick, who is a Democrat, could also follow. People feel confident that the allegations against all four are credible. Members are frustrated by what feels like a bottleneck of scandals without any real accountability yet in any one of them, according to one House Democrat. Second House Democrat said, we want a full house cleaning. Get the garbage out of here. These jerks are destroying Congress for the American people and for all of us who came here to do good work. So we'll have, I'm sure, a lot more fallout from the Eric Swalwell scandal, and I'll be talking to my friend Steve Hostetter, who has been at the center of working with a bunch of creators and platforming those who have been covering this. It's a really interesting story how that all happened. And oil is now more than $100 a barrel after the commander-in-chief promised to blockade Iranian ports of the Strait of Hormuz, and it looks like $45 gas could be something we're wishing for in a couple of weeks. It's a possibility I'm seeing. Israel attacked Lebanon again after the U.S. and Iran failed to reach a peace deal. Israeli and Lebanese officials are planning to meet for rare talks in Washington this week. Apparently, the U.S. military is going to begin destroying mines that Iran had placed underwater in the strait. We'll see if that happens. Pakistan's still trying to bring the U.S. and Iran back into negotiations. Trump attacked Pope Leo, who, of course, is a powerful and outspoken critic of the war in Iran. Trump said, I'm not a big fan. I don't like him. Leo said in response that he isn't afraid. He said, I'm not afraid of speaking out loudly of the message of the gospel, which is what I believe I am here to do. He's on his way to Africa, and he answered some questions to reporters on the Pope plane, the papal plane, the Pope. And those are all of the headlines that I've got for you. Let's jump to some of the clips that I've gathered, and I've got some good ones today, a couple of a little bit longer, 2-3 minute ones. Let's start with Jon Ossoff, who is, I think, addressing the Democratic Party of Georgia. He's on everybody's short list or maybe medium list to run for president, but everybody was sharing this. I saw this everywhere yesterday. So here we go. Jon Ossoff, Senator Jon Ossoff, Georgia.
Now, I don't know if you saw, but the president apparently promised pardons for the entire White House staff. Did y'all see that? Which I guess is the kind of thing you do when you run the White House like a casino. Now, maybe the West Wing's too busy placing Kalshi and polymarket bets on the war to care, but Americans are getting hurt. Hurt by the illegal tariffs that send prices higher and higher, by skyrocketing health premiums, by $4 gas. Hurt by insurance companies that deny claims for needed care. Hurt by the hedge funds snatching up tens of thousands of homes across our state. Hurt by the data centers driving up power bills. And so when you're out there talking to folks over the next 6 months, remind them what the President of the United States said last week. Quote, "It's not possible," he said, "for us to take care of daycare, Medicaid, or Medicare." That's what the President said. He said we can only afford to fund war. And then 2 days later released his budget demanding we increase Pentagon spending to $1.5 trillion per year, paid for by ending the program that helps millions afford utility bills, by canceling affordable housing programs, and by cutting cancer research. All this just 1 year after they sent insurance premiums skyrocketing and gutted Medicaid to cut taxes for the rich. This is their answer to America's cost of living crisis. This is their answer to the Savannah nurse working a double shift whose utilities are about to get shut off. The Tift County farmer getting crushed by the trade war and now diesel and now fertilizer. The family in College Park skipping doctor's visits because premiums are just too high. In Donald Trump's America, the rich get tax cuts, the well-connected get stock tips, and everybody else makes sacrifices. But Americans have seen through this scam, and it's up to Georgia Democrats to end it. Are you ready to win, Georgia Democrats?
All right, there you go. John Ossoff in Georgia. Here's just the briefest clip of the Prime Minister of Canada addressing Canadians.
The days of our military sending 70 cents of every dollars to the United States are over.
Well, I don't know what that was all about, but I don't like it. And here is my old friend Chrystia Freeland, the former foreign minister and close confidant of the guy you just heard from. She was on MS Now over the weekend, and she had a really impassioned commentary, which I loved, as always.
Has the United States lost the trust of the world?
Here is the irony and the paradox. Speaking, in the first instance, those three countries you cited, that's not just the world, that's America's closest friends and allies in the world. Countries that have been shoulder to shoulder with the United States. Countries like NATO has only invoked Article 5, the Mutual Defense Article, once, and that was 9/11, when all of your friends and allies, I remember in Canada, it was such a moment of outpouring of love for the United States. And the paradox and what is actually really painful for America's allies right now is we think America is great. We admire America for so many things. We see that you have been, since the Second World War, the city on the hill. And now you're behaving in ways that are very hard for us to understand. You humiliate and insult our leaders. You enter into reckless and unnecessary wars without consulting us, and then you go out and reprimand us for not snapping to attention and joining you in these reckless adventures that you never asked us about in the first place. So to me, it's actually an incredibly dangerous moment because I really worry about what happens to democracy in the world without U.S. leadership and without the trust of allies in the U.S. So I would just say to American friends, please get your act together. Really, we are happy to work with you. You have no idea the reserve of affection, of desire to work with the U.S., but you make it harder every single day.
Yeah. All right. Well done by Chrystia Freeland. Now, how about this one? This is the governor of Maryland. Everybody's got him on the short list. It's Wes Moore, and he was asked, I think, about what presidential candidates should be doing right now or something. This is a National Action Network a couple of days ago, but again, another clip. Lots of folks were sharing and loved, so I want to give you a sampling of Wes Moore.
These are our taxpayer dollars that are being used to do this. This is, we are now watching how our gas prices continue to skyrocket. Energy prices continue to skyrocket. Groceries are more expensive. And we are doing this foreign war that none of us asked for, but it's being done in our name. And so I think about the fact that as the President of the United States, and most importantly as the Commander-in-Chief, you owe it to us. You owe it to us. You owe it to these soldiers, these sailors, these airmen, and the Marines. You owe it to them to make sure that, one, they need to know that any time that military force is used, that was the last resort. Anyone and any of these people who are thinking about 2028, I need to see that you're taking 2026 seriously. I don't want to hear woulda, coulda, shouldas. I don't want to hear, well, what I would have done is. Not while our people are hurting like this. I want to see action. I don't want to see you tell me about the 12-point plan or the 5-year analysis or no. What are you doing right now to protect, to heal, and to build? Because if you show me what right is supposed to look like, then I can tell you whether or not I trust you with our future. And so I'm very clear and I'm locked in. I'm not just trying to win in November, but I'm telling you, in Maryland, we're going to send a message. We're going to send a message in Maryland. But I'm telling you, while I tell people, I'm hungry, but I'm not thirsty. And I need people to take this moment seriously and understand the type of assault that we are under right now. And show me something now. Show me you are a winter soldier and not a summer soldier. Show me. And then we can have a conversation with everyone else about what is it that you're planning on doing in the future.
All right. What is the difference between a winter and summer soldier? I'm not sure. I've got to look that up. I just know the Marvel Comics reference. I don't even know what it meant then. Anyway, I thought that was pretty good. Wes Moore, very interesting and passionate, effective speaker, great-looking guy. And the governor of Maryland, who a lot of people are considering, will run for president and have a good path. All right, well, here is my friend Amanda Nelson, who is a creator and a commentator and just one of the best out there, talking about, arguing with people who are still defending Eric Swalwell. I think this clip came out just before he resigned, but over the weekend when all of this was unfolding. I love Amanda. She makes a lot of sense. If you have questions and are curious about these allegations and so on, she's a great creator to go to. But for pretty much everything, she's really one of the best out there. And so here's what she had to say. Loved it.
Letting him run for we did find out 4 women have come forward with medical records, corroborated statements by investigative journalists. If you want to sit around and wait for him to be convicted in court of rape, meanwhile letting him run for governor in a primary, probably win an election, and then sit in charge of the largest economy in our country with a staff of God knows how many young women, that's cool, I guess. Either way, the Manhattan District Attorney has opened a criminal case into Eric Swalwell this morning. It really concerns me how many people think that 4 corroborated accusations with medical records is not enough to disqualify someone from running for higher office. Innocent until proven guilty is a thing that keeps you out of jail. It's not a thing that guarantees you a governorship. What the hell are we even doing? Like, legitimately, what is this conversation? This is the stupidest fucking conversation I have maybe had all year, and I spend all year talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has not been criminally convicted of any of the accusations in the Epstein files, but here we all are completely agreeing that he is unfit to be president for a lot of reasons, one of which is the shit in the Epstein files. Do we need those victims to see a day in court before we say Donald Trump should not be president? No, of course not. This is not different just because the man has a D by his name and is younger. Obviously, people with accusations like this, multiple accusations like this, should not be given positions of power or a promotion to a newer, better position of power ever. They just shouldn't. That's it. There's no other conversation to be had. And it's not going to happen. He's not going to win the primary now. Whether or not he drops out, it's over. His career is over. So, I don't know. Maybe stop spending your time defending the psycho and pick a new candidate to rally behind so that we can have an election. Okay? Thanks.
Love it. Love that from Amanda. Amanda's mild takes. She was on the show a few weeks back. I should invite her back on. And now I got to do this. I'm sorry. I got to do it. It's Ann Coulter. She was on C-SPAN, and she's talking for a little over 2 minutes, but I think what she had to say here is worth sharing with your right-wing friends and to hear her argument. She's not being a firebrandy asshole so much in this clip, and so making some sense. And so I thought I would share Ann Coulter on C-SPAN.
Talk to you was maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm going to start with the same question I asked you then. Where are you today when it comes to President Trump? How do you feel about him today?
You know, that's a question I think I should have been prepared for. Not very happy with him. Not very happy with him at all. I think this Iran war is a fiasco. I thought it from the beginning, and I think it's very hard for anyone to dispute that at this point. I mean, the alleged war objectives start with knocking out their nuclear power. If anything, the rest of the world has gotten the message now, oh my gosh, we better get a nuke, develop a nuke. That's our number one goal for our entire country because who's Trump's best friend? Kim Jong-il of North Korea. And why is that? Even though he's a much more brutal dictator, he has weapons that are capable of actually reaching the west coast of the United States. But he has a nuke. So let's be really nice to him. Changing the leadership. Okay, I'll go along with the claim of Trump's that he's changed the leadership just so we can convince him, you've won, please stop now. But don't really think that's happened. The Kurds are going to help. He's going to liberate the Iranian people. None of this has happened. Now our sole war objective is to open the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before he started bombing the crap out of them. And not to mention, I think a lot of very bad things have come out of it. I'm not a pansy when it comes to war, when we need a real war. But this was an unprovoked attack, and we're killing little girls, Peter. We're associated with an ally that is just wiping the crap out of civilians, pharmacies, Trump threatening to end a civilization. This is a second-term president. This isn't some weird, fluke that this guy got in. I think this is really diminishing our moral stature in the world. And I think a lot of us thought this from the beginning. And the main argument against the anti-war position was you hate Israel. Well, I don't hate Israel. I think this is the worst thing that's happened to Israel in my lifetime. People are suddenly standing up and taking note. I've never seen so many people looking at how much money do we send to Israel again? That sort of thing. And Netanyahu's central involvement. Sorry, this is a long answer. That Maggie Haberman, Jonathan Swan article in the New York Times a few days ago on the inside negotiations. It's funny how, that shows you how the Iran war is going. Now they're all claiming, oh, no, I said it was a terrible idea. It's all off the record. It's all anonymous. But, John Radcliffe is supposed to have said it's farcical what Netanyahu is telling us. Marco Rubio, this is BS, and he wasn't using the initials. And just one after another advisor advising him against it. But then Netanyahu comes in and makes his case, and Trump says, OK, we're going to do it.
All right, there you go. Ann Coulter. Sorry, I don't know. Thought she was making some sense, so I wanted to share it. And finally, let's end with some comedy from Saturday Night Live. It's Colin Jost and Michael Che. Weekend Update was live. SNL was live this weekend. Here it is.
Today, the United States held peace negotiations with Iran. But then just an hour ago, President Trump posted, if Iran doesn't agree to peace, the greatest military of all time, ours, Well, F Iran right up their Strait of Hormuz. Assalamu alaikum, you crazy bastards. Now, I completely made that up. But isn't it kind of disturbing that you all totally believe that he had posted that? President Trump did genuinely issue a post threatening to destroy Iran's entire civilization and then ended with the phrase, "Praise be to Allah." And I know that almost makes Trump sound like he is a radical terrorist, but remember, Trump has already been to a paradise with 72 virgins.
There is growing confusion over whether Israel being allowed to continue bombing Lebanon was part of the ceasefire with Iran. Ultimately, that decision comes down to the man controlling our military, Benjamin Netanyahu. Earlier tonight, J.D. Vance announced that the U.S. and Iran have ended negotiations without a deal after talking for 21 hours straight. And guys, I think they're done for real, based on how his mascara's running.
Before the talks fell apart, President Trump warned Iran about making any more demands, saying the Iranians don't seem to realize they have no cards. They're literally holding us straight. J.D. Vance was asked about Iran's right to enrich uranium, and he made kind of a weird analogy. Watch.
My wife has the right to skydive, but she doesn't jump out of an airplane because she and I have an agreement that she's not going to do that because I don't want my wife jumping out of an airplane.
What the hell are you talking about? The only thing that makes sense in that entire analogy is that we can all understand J.D. Vance's wife having the urge to jump.
First Lady Melania Trump made a rare public statement to deny reports that Jeffrey Epstein introduced her to Donald Trump because they actually met when Trump cracked open her shipping container. On Friday, the Artemis II astronauts returned safely from their 10-day trip around the Hollywood soundstage.
During the mission, the crew of Artemis II sent back pictures of the rarely seen dark side of the moon, revealing that the moon has a rat tail.
He wanted more out of that. The Justice Department formed a task force intended to eradicate anti-Christian bias, which hopefully works better than the church's strategy of molesting it out of you.
California police have arrested a man who allegedly threw a Molotov cocktail at the home of ChatGPT founder Sam Altman after ChatGPT told him, "That's a great idea."
Yesterday, Kamala Harris said she is thinking about running for president again. And I like her chances as long as she finally grows that penis. I tried to keep a straight face as long as I could. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced that he is launching a new podcast. The podcast is called
It's catchy.
All right, there they go, and that is it. That is the news segment, and it's always hard to do when I'm still traveling on remote and not in the studios, but I got it done. Glad I did. If you appreciate it, patreon.com/Pete Dominic is the place to go to sign up for a paid subscription. Try to do that every morning, Monday through Friday, and I try to get it up by 7 a.m. At least that's the goal, or around that. And most of the time I get it done. So there you go. All right. Now it's time to get to Podjam 3. This is the audio that I'm bringing you this year. It's my conversation between me and Wajahat Ali. And then I bring JL Cauvin up. And then Rod Morrow joins us from The Black Guy Who Tips. He was also there with his wife, Karen. They host a podcast that was awesome. And they were live before us and got nothing but laughs. It was so entertaining, so great. We love them. Of course, we know and love JL and Waj. You know everything about them. You should support them in all the ways. but I didn't get to listen to this entirely myself. But I have recorded it and produced it, so not edited it. So hopefully it works. Those of you that listen early, if there's any technical issues or something missing, let me know, because it's almost 90 minutes, I think, at least. So thank you to everybody who came to Podjam. Now it's time to relive at least a very small or a central part of it, the Podjam, the podcast at least. Here we go, live in front of, I don't know, was there 60, 70 people there at this bar restaurant in Las Vegas, which is very kind to host us? Let's do it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Wajahat Ali is here, everybody. He does not need any introduction.
I love America.
He has a very thick new accent that is actually not where he descends from.
It is in honor of the First Lady who did not sleep with Jeffrey Epstein, and wants you all to know that she does not know anything about Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and she loves America and the children who do not read too good.
I'm offended by your cultural appropriation of whatever her ethnic, Slovakian, whatever accent.
Epsteinian. I think she's Epsteinian.
She's Epsteinian. All right, we are officially started and off, and thank you very, very much for joining us here in Vegas. Waj and I are going to chat it up, and we are not too planned out. I'm just really happy that you came out here and joined me. Waj and I have known each other for probably 10 years or something. I think we met for the first time at the Aspen Ideas Fest drink.
No, we actually first met at Sirius when you had that fancy schmancy Sirius show in New York.
At Sirius XM for the first time in person.
You kept trying to touch my face, and you said I was very handsome, and it made me slightly awkward.
Yes.
And then
my bag.
And then we met at Aspen, where you performed in front of billionaires, and actually Pete and I performed in front of Barbara Streisand, Michael Eisner, Katie Couric.
Yep.
Who else?
I don't think Katie was a billionaire, but those two were definitely billionaires, I think.
And they did not laugh.
Well, they laugh at the first two jokes about being rich, but on the third joke, rich people say, "I earned it," and they get really offended.
Yeah, Pete told me that. He goes, "You only get 2 rich jokes. The third joke, it's over." He did his 2 rich jokes, they landed, and then he pivoted to something awkward.
But I did have an audience to blame the failure of the economy on because of the financial re-rigging. It was my only time I ever got to make a credit default swaps joke to the billionaires.
He had it in the back pocket since 2009.
Yeah, it was there.
This is when I'll use it.
But that's where we met, and we've stayed friends and confidants and more than friends even. And confidants, meaning I've shared a lot with you about my personal adversity, mainly losing my job, but also even my marriage ending. And early on, you talked to me about some of your challenges, and then you stopped having them. And everything's perfect, and you're always happy and super successful.
Pete kept sending me very salacious photos, and I think we need some boundaries in these relationships. Yeah. I know you have the butter face and you work out with the muscles, but I don't need to see. I don't need to see everything. Pete.
It was just upper body shots. But you were very kind.
It did tempt me, though.
You always favorited them and gave them thumbs up and then blocked my number. But I found you another way. And now here you are, and I'm so glad that you could join us because you are probably one of the busiest people in the game of which we can decide how we want to call it, whether it be journalism, whether it be public interest, whether it be informing, educating, teaching, content creating, some people might call it. But you have really, really blown up over the last year, much to me and J.L. Cauvin's chagrin. You have really succeeded and just keep continue. No, you don't hate him? Oh, I figured you would. We'll get you a chance. I can't wait to have you guys up here.
I like how Peter's projecting.
I can't wait to have you guys up here together. But anyway, no, but as I've told you, off air and off the record, and I'll say it in front of you, I think the reason for, your success and your growth, specifically on Substack, but on YouTube and on all of social media, the people who follow you and subscribe and now hopefully pay for subscriptions as well, I truly believe it has to do with, like a kind of a meritocracy, dare I use the word, but that you're that good. You're that smart, you're that funny, you're that empathic, you're that passionate, you're that righteous, and you have a special ability to like remember everything that you've read and heard and listed, and you're really good at breaking down important issues and helping us understand them. That's certainly why I love having you on my show, but you don't even need a guest. Sometimes I'm watching you ask people questions. I'm like, I'd rather hear what you have to say about it, because you really have become, I think, that respected based on what you've earned. And you had a great career before all of this iteration. Before Trump, you were doing all kinds of great stuff, a law degree, a writer, a commentator, published in the New York Times, your plays, of course, your book recently. But your growth now at this tragic time for our country, I think, is a really, really good thing that so many people are coming to your work. And most importantly, the people that you're bringing on your show, the people that you're interviewing, you can't stop. You're doing 2, 3, 4 people a day, and really interesting, important people. You just interviewed Rowan Farrow for his very new important article at the New Yorker about the great Sam Altman.
Oh, yeah.
And you've just about interviewed everybody. So I just wanted to say congratulations. You're well-deserved, and thank you for taking time seriously out of your busy schedule, not only with your work, but with your amazing family. And that's what I just wanted to start by asking, how are your kids? People don't know. Waj's daughter was diagnosed with cancer, and he's talked about it publicly over and over, but it was years ago, and so it's always worth mentioning. How is your family? How are your kids? Are they okay with you leaving to be here with this, slumming it with this group?
Well, thank you for that. What's your name again?
Paul.
Oh, yeah, Paul.
Paul Poundstone.
You whites all look the same. You bald whites in the 50s.
Thank you. I look like a baby hamster.
That was very, well, hamsters are cute. I'm kidding. Thank you for that warm introduction. I'll Venmo you. Because the kids use the Venmo and the Zelle. Also, thank you all for coming. I'm glad you had this in Las Vegas and you invited a Muslim who doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, doesn't hoe around, and doesn't gamble. So I was crushing it last night in my hotel room, getting halal food on Uber Eats. It was awesome. I was high off the chicken
We should tell you, we booked Hassan Piker and he canceled.
I'm the fourth South Asian that Pete got. So he wanted Hassan Piker, he wanted, what was it?
I can't name 2 others.
You can't do 2 others. He goes, the other one with the hair. I'm like, Hassan Minhaj. He goes, that one.
is not South Asian.
I'm like, that's Iranian. He goes, you all look the same. Well, first of all, the daughter, the cancer survivor, she's now 9. She was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer right before COVID. And I found out when I was about to give a speech at TED, at the fancy schmancy Vancouver TED talk. So my wife calls me up and my wife calls me up crying in the morning. My wife never cries. She goes, we found bumps on her stomach. I'm like, she probably ate something. I just left her, right? And she goes, no, I think it's something else. And then confirmed stage 4 cancer. And I'm such a Luddite. I'm an English major. I asked her, is that one of the good stages? And she goes, that's one of the worst stages. So
and she's an actual doctor.
Yeah, and she's an actual doctor. She doesn't play one on TV. So my daughter, who was about to turn 3, got this rare form of childhood cancer called hepatoblastoma. The cancer went all over her liver, and a spot was found in her lung. And then this was right before COVID. And so we had to get a liver donor. And I'm such a Luddite, and I thought, I'm like, who's going to give their liver and die? And my wife's like, no, the liver grows back. I'm like, the liver grows back? They didn't teach us this in school. So then I I'm like, I will be the heroic father. I will give a piece of my liver. Put on my cape. And they're like, your blood type doesn't match. So I couldn't do anything. And so we had to use, this is where we get lucky, right? So my mom always jokes, I only have one son, one child. He did not become a doctor. She's talking about me to my face. And she's like, you could have become a doctor. I'm like, I'm sorry, mother. And then, but at that time, I knew people like Pete. I was at CNN. So I used the one skill that I had was storytelling to share Nuseba's story because we needed a live liver donor. And as a result, Georgetown said that if you could get 3 or 4 people to step up to be a liver donor, that's huge. 500 people stepped up.
Because you talked about it on TV.
Yeah. I deliberately said, I'm like, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I did a little bit of research. My wife's a doctor. I'm like, this is a rare form of cancer. I have no idea if she's going to survive. But I'll be damned if my daughter goes out like a statistic. At least people will know her name. And if she goes out And if she dies this way, at least people can sign up to be liver donors. Maybe some good can happen, right? So made her into a story. I know that sounds strange. Talked about Nusseibeh, used every outlet that I could. 500 people stepped up. And Georgetown.
Not one white.
Yeah, a lot of whites. The good whites stepped up. I'll tell you a story about the whites. One white stepped up.
Oh, please.
Yeah. He's like, one white said to me on Twitter, he goes, I hate all your politics. I hate everything you write. I'm like, everything? God dang. Like, I've done some witty tweets. He goes, everything. And he goes, I just want you to know I've signed up and me and my mom are praying for your daughter. And so what I want to just share is, even in times of distress, war, genocide, what we're going through right now, that reminded me, and I think it bears reminding for us right now, people still have the capacity to do good. Sometimes they just have to be invited. And so 500 people stepped up, and Georgetown said, we've never had this many people step up. That means if we just tell people, people find out about it and they step up, right? Because my job was to also inform. Because I didn't know. I'm a somewhat educated guy. I had no idea the liver grows back. What happened then with Nusseibeh was a very, I call it the Ali life story. It's all highs and lows. 500 people step up, no one matches. So Georgetown is banging its head against the wall. Like, I talked to this administrative lady at Georgetown, a white, and she met me, and she's like, I'm not a doctor, but your daughter, Nusseibeh, she met me for the first, she starts crying. She goes, I wake up on the weekends, and your daughter's swimming in my head, and we have to save her. We have to save her daughter. She goes, I've never been through so many applications, and none of them have matched. So I was like, oh my God, like even I don't cry, right? Like, but she was crying. So at the last second, we got an anonymous donor, and then they call me and says, can you bring Nusseibeh in tomorrow? I'm like, sure. Anonymous donor. I have no idea who steps up. So we step in. It's hilarious. I'm exhausted, bleary-eyed. I haven't slept. I'm wearing the hospital gown. I'm wearing the hospital gown over the jeans because I had to take Nusseibeh to the operating theater. And my wife at Georgetown was like, I'm hungry. Get me something. So I'm like walking the streets with red eyes in a hospital gown. People are staring at me. I'm like, why is everyone staring at me? Because they literally thought I had escaped from the hospital. And I'm just walking around in the hospital gown in my jeans, and I bump into this woman, this South Asian woman. And while I was sitting in the room, just waiting, I get this message on Twitter from a guy I kind of knew who goes, hey man, praying for your daughter. I think my friend Sean is the donor. And then he said, oh shit, I wasn't supposed to say that. And I'm like, well, now you did. He goes, well, can you connect me? I said, can you connect me to his family? He goes, sure. So I got the text of his wife, and she happens to be South Asian and Muslim. Small world. So we like, hey.
Like 2 billion.
Out of 2 billion, right? So I'm like, and what they do is in these theaters, right? I think to keep, I don't know, there's like some psychology behind this. They separate the families of the donor and the donee. So I have no idea who she is. I've never met her. Anonymous donor. All I know, this dude's name is Sean. He's South Asian. He's Muslim. His wife is, I'm assuming, brown also. So I'm in my friggin' hospital gown, and I walk in to get food, and I see a brown-skinned woman, and I'm like, are you Rida? She goes, Wajahat? And so we meet that way, and we found out that the guy who ends up being the donor lived 10 minutes away, happens to be Pakistani Muslim, does not know my daughter, is not on Twitter. His wife was on Twitter following me because I gave a speech at her college years before, and he just sits there and goes, oh, donor, Pakistani, Muslim, oh, blood type, sure, I'll go. 2 days of battery of tests, doesn't know my daughter, doesn't know me, and then the doctors on both sides say, I'll end the story, I hope this is not boring, the doctors on both sides say it was a perfect match. It was like literally sent from the heavens. Like it was like clean, perfect, like easy. And then the doctor who operated on him, I still don't know who he is. I never met him, right? I met him afterwards. I'm like, hey man, is everything okay? He goes, everything was perfect. And this guy starts crying, his doctor. He goes, listen, I just want you to know I've done hundreds of these surgeries. When people wake up, the donors, the first question they ask is, am I okay? Is everything all right? When can I go back to work? Do you know what your daughter's donor said? I'm like, what? When can I donate again? So then he starts crying and he goes, your daughter has a good man's liver in her. So fast forward 6 years, Nuseba now is a diva who twerks without music. I'm like, there's no music. You don't have to twerk. She goes, and shakes her booty. I'm like, oh my God. And Sean just had a kid, his third kid.
Oh wow.
So there you
and
go.
You're friends with them. Wow.
And we're friends.
That deserves applause. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, also the reason why I mentioned that story here is it's the power of community, right? Because Pete has created something really special. I'm looking at someone who was kind enough 4 years ago to host a book club for my book. And she right there, you could give her a round of applause. And it was from Pete. And then downstairs I met people who were like, yeah, I came because of Pete. But then I met someone and then like, we like each other more than Pete. And now we're friends with each other. So to create a community like this, especially when everything you feel like it's falling apart, this saves lives.
Yeah, well, thank you. And this community couldn't be created without everybody that's here and so many more people signing up to pay for a product that was free, which was my podcast, which when I first started after I left SiriusXM, which a lot of these people, most probably heard me there, and I started the podcast and produced it myself, and it really sucked. And they hung in there.
It was good. It was all right.
It was okay. The guests were still pretty good.
I'm trying to be nice.
When you could hear them, the guests were good. But we couldn't do it without all of these people here. So, it is, really, an amazing community, and I am feel so grateful and so happy to be with everybody here, and to have you here with me is, amazing. I love you, and I'm so happy that story worked out the way it was. That was very boring, though. I was super bored when you were talking.
Pete's a good guy. Give it up to Pete. He's one of the good ones. But can I just say the way that life works out, it's wild. So I go on Pete's Sirius show, right? And then the way life has peaks and valleys, because I'm sure we're all going through it, especially since COVID and this friggin'...
As Nick DiFabrizio calls it, everybody's got a bag of rocks.
Everyone, right? So I remember a couple years ago, I call up Pete, because I'm like, man, CNN gig is gone. We're post-COVID. I got this daughter recovering from cancer. Because of my views, because I'm calling out Trump fascist, I'm speaking out against genocide, I can't get hired, right? I got like 3 kids now. Like, what do I do? So someone said, why don't you talk to like 50 or 60 people and they'll give you advice. So Pete was on my list. So I remember Pete told me, he goes, listen, man, I have the greatest gig. I make like 6 figures. I drive to Sirius. I talk to interesting people. This is a dream job. And I don't know if you remember this. He told me, I don't know what I'd do if I ever lost this job.
Oh, I remember it.
Yeah. He goes, I might kill myself.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in a Ford Explorer.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, this is a great, and like you gave me fantastic advice. And I said, oh, thanks so much. Fast forward, what was it, a couple of months later after that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pete's like, I just got fired.
I might kill myself.
And I'm like, listen, man, you're talented. So what we're saying is like in my time of need, Pete gave me counsel. And then, I don't know, I called you from my Honda Odyssey minivan.
Now you've gone so well that you would never, like, if you had a time of need, you would call, like, I don't know, a senator or Mary Trump.
Of course.
Or Mehdi Hassan or any number of people who are way bigger deal, Glenn Kirshner. One of your famous,
or like I have categories of bald whites. You're like category 2. So I'd go to Glenn Kirshner, who's category 1.
He's a tier 1 bald white.
And he's a tier 1 bald white. You're tier 2.
Yeah.
It works. You're like the Jason Statham of action heroes. He's like The Rock.
Thank you.
But, what happened is, he just gave me this very fawning, undeserved compliment at the beginning.
Very deserved.
Like last year, right? So last year, a couple of my friends are like, I'm like, what the hell do I do? They're like, you should get on this thing called the Substack.
Yeah. That was 1 year ago that you started?
It was like a year.
Blow my brains out.
And so I'm like, I got nothing. I literally said, if I could get 10,000 people on Substack, forget paid. If I could get 10,000 people, I've climbed Mount Everest, right? And like 10,000 for me would be a lot. So we passed like 110,000.
Wow.
Which is for me, it's huge, right? For like, I'm sure for other people,
it's one of the top ones in the whole political space. But certainly one of the ones that people watch and probably disproportionately pay. I don't know, but like, go ahead. Sorry.
No, what I'm saying is we have to help each other out. Like sometimes you're on top, another person's bottom. Sometimes you're bottom.
Oh, don't I know?
It's the yin and yang, man. So all these assholes who sit there and who think that like, they can talk down to you. I'm like, God can humble you real quick. real quick. People who end up homeless, they didn't have a plan to be homeless, right? It's like, what did Mike Spinks say when he fought Mike Tyson? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
I think he said, I think I'll last more than one round. I think is what he said.
And Mike Tyson's like, no.
Yeah. I paid for that fight.
So I think like Pete, what he's made, cause he was being self-deprecating like 2 hours ago. I'm like, this is really impressive, man, to get 50, honestly, I think so, to get 55 people on a Friday, 60 people, I don't know, on a Friday.
It's like 700 to me.
Yeah. At like at 10 a.m. from all parts of the country to come down. I'm like, I can't pull that off. And Pete's like, it should be 500 people, but it's fine. It's fine. Bitter comedian, chain smoking. I'm like, no, you should just enjoy what you've built. I think this is very special. That's what I want to say.
Not one of them's employed. Not one of them has anything.
They're all vagrants and losers who have nothing else to do.
I found them outside.
Pete's like, I paid them all on the strip.
Yeah. But I'm thank you very much for all of that. Lots that I want to talk with you, obviously about. We can have some fun. We can talk about some serious issues. We'll probably do another, I don't know how we're feeling in here, but we'll probably talk for about an hour. And I want people to, feel free to jump in. I would love for this to be interactive, and I've got other microphones here. So if somebody does have a question at any point about anything that you would like to ask Waj, please, by all means, we'd love to have you. And I'll be monitoring the Zoom. I could probably I should be able to bring you up if you really want to ask a question on Zoom as well. So let's start with a hard hitting. What's it like to be one normal eye away from looking like Kash Patel? Have you struggled with that? It's very close, and you act like him too. All the drinking at hockey games.
Hey, Charlie, I'll see you in Valhalla, Charlie.
Has it?
Sorry, too
what
soon?
do you think? Is it weird?
I have sex with a white woman now. It's awesome. I knew Kash Patel's growing up. All right. Yes, Kash Patel. There's a type of a Kash Patel that all South Asians know. This is the type of guy who wanted to bang the varsity cheerleader, but had never had the confidence, never had the security, kind of hates himself, and is desperate to kiss up to whoever's in power, right? We call them coconuts. Every ethnicity has their own version of it, right?
Sounds racist to me.
It's okay. When I say it, it's not. And this
Can I call them coconuts?
Yes, sure. I'll let you. I'll give you a pass.
I didn't. I'm just asking if I can. You could. I wouldn't, but I'm just wondering.
Kash Patel is one of those guys whose dream in life was to have sex with the white, this is key, not the Latina or the black one, the white varsity cheerleader, and to be in power and to chug beers with the white hockey dudes that used to beat him up.
Yeah.
And so he gets in this position of power, he abuses his position of power, and I'm convinced if there should be tribunals and accountability, we should do our own type of Nuremberg. And you have Kash Patel come out, I guarantee you he'll be sitting there with a big smile. You're like, was it worth it, Kash? I had the white vagina.
Wow.
I'm going to Valhalla.
That is making me, for people that are just listening, you're really missing it out. It is really tough because it's hilarious and uncomfortable at the same time. Is it hard to see someone, he's Pakistani descent? No?
He's Indian.
Oh, sorry. You guys hate each other.
I'm Pakistani, he's
sorry,
Indian.
You hate each other.
No, we don't hate each other.
I've been told.
Listen. Pakistan gets enough bad rap. He's Indian. He's Indian American.
Okay, fair enough. Then I withdraw my question to say that is it hard to see a man of his ethnicity rise to such power and then use it the way that he is?
Yeah, man.
As a traitor to his.
Absolutely. I think you should talk. I mean, because look, if you look at the Trump administration, and let's talk about this. There's Harmeet Dillon, a Sikh woman, right? There's, Kash Patel, right? There's, Nikki Haley, right? There's Nikki Haley's son. You look at all these people of color who willingly betrayed their own communities, who willingly betrayed immigrants to suck at the teat of whiteness and wealth. And at what cost, right? It's a great line from Bourne Identity that was in every single one of the Bourne movies where the assassins ask each other, look at what they make you give. Look at what they make you give, right? And so it's especially painful when you see someone who should know better, who sucks at the teat of whiteness and white supremacy and is willing to throw everybody under the bus. Their people under the bus, their ancestors under the bus, poor people under the bus, because they think they're the special one. They're not talking about me. I'll be safe. They won't come after me. They'll just go after the pro-Palestinian activists. They'll just go after the El Salvadorans. They'll just go after the Antifa. And then Renee Nicole Good is shot and killed. And then you hear it, if you see it on C-SPAN, the giveaway is always this. This wasn't supposed to happen to us. You hear them, ICE wasn't supposed to come to our schools. And then the translation is, well, who was it supposed to happen to? Where were they supposed to be deployed? Why were you okay with them going to Latino communities and brown communities, right? And so for the Kash Patels, I always joke that he's gonna, whenever he dies, he's gonna go to Valhalla. He's gonna be knocking on the door. He's like, hey, Charlie, I'm here, Charlie. And they open up the,
Charlie Kirk?
Yeah. Charlie Kirk. You know how they open up the slit at the clubs? And they're like, he's like, I hear you. He's like, no one's here. And there's like a raging party, and there's like an orgy happening. He goes, I hear you. And like, no one's here. I think this is not for you, sir. You have to go. And he'll be with Nikki Haley and Harmeet Din, like, let us in. Like, you gotta go down. You gotta go to like the tier 2 Valhalla for the darkies.
So, all right.
Was it worth it?
Good question for all traders of their whatever, class, race, etc., gender. A lot of women upholding patriarchy, which brings me to asking you about Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi. I know that you're... It was... I had to explain that news item to my daughter, and I didn't know how to explain his specific like kink or perversion. She goes, "Wait, what did he do?" I go, "He was into, I don't know. Here, look at this picture. That's what he did." Those two women have blood on their hands and a stain to their names, and women who are upholding patriarchy, and there are those in every movement and every generation. Obviously, I was off with my daughter in Amsterdam when some of this happened, when Pam Bondi got fired, and so I wanted to get your reaction to that first. Like, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, right? That she's been axed. She's been replaced temporarily with Todd Blanche. What do you want to say about her tenure, the Epstein files, and the fact that she's no longer the AG, and the fact that just more evidence that someone kissing up to Trump and then gets destroyed, I would argue, for history's sake.
So we'll work from Bondi to Noem first.
Okay.
First of all, what I said 2 weeks ago, time is a flat circle. When was she fired? 2 weeks? 2 weeks ago?
I guess it was now.
So 2 weeks ago, I was talking to Lev Parnas. Who would have thought I'd be talking to Lev Parnas, former Trump fixer?
Yeah, why are you such good friends with Lev Parnas? Is he a good guy? Didn't he do some shitty stuff?
He did terrible things. Yeah. But he's one of those people, as of now at least, he went to jail, paid his dues, and he's using his connections to actually rip Trump apart. I'm not God. I don't know what's in his heart and his intentions, but so far he's on the level. Every time he tells me there's something like 100%, like he said, take this to the bank. So far he's batting 1,000, right? Huh. So when we were talking 2 weeks ago, we kind of had the similar assessment on Pam Bondi that's a distraction. What do I mean by that? Is it good that she's gone? Great. Level of accountability. However, it's a distraction because knowing Trump, he's going to be like, well, I can't do the accent as good as, forgive me, we're trying. This is like, tier 2. He's going to be like, okay, I got rid of Pam Bondi. She's gone. She's going to go into civilian private life. No one's going to talk about Epstein. The House is going to try to subpoena her. She's going to say, no, I'm not Attorney General. What are you going to do about it? And lo and behold, this week you saw the House is trying to bring Pam Bondi to ask her why she's been engaged, my words, a cover-up. I used that word with Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna was on my show and he said, it's a cover-up. You heard then Pramila Jayapal use the word cover-up. You heard Hillary Clinton say cover-up. I've been saying it since last year. This is a cover-up. It is the biggest cover-up that I think we have seen in our lifetime. Pam Bondi, when she was Attorney General, her job, I know we forget because everything's been corrupted. The Attorney General's job, their fidelity is to the rule of law and the Constitution. They're not supposed to be the henchmen or henchwoman of the president, regardless if they're Democrat or Republican. Remember that, folks? Her job is to be the prosecutor against Trump's enemies and the defender of Trump. So if you all recall, speaking about some of the receipts I keep in my head, last April it was reported that Pam Bondi informed Donald Trump he's all up in the files. Who is mentioned more than Epstein in the Epstein files? Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was mentioned this, he was asked point blank on the camera, I think it was either CBS or ABC, are you in the files? He lied. All right. Last year at this time, FBI agents were asked to work 24-hour to 48-hour shifts. They were stuck 24-hour to 48-hour shifts. What was their job? To investigate, for accountability, to, get justice to these men who raped girls for years. Oh, no. Their job was to find Trump's name in the Epstein files and scrub it. Then, in the summer, if you remember, last year, Wall Street Journal reported that Donald Trump sent a lewd message to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday book compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell. And he also did a lewd drawing. Remember that? And then Donald Trump said, this is a lie. No, you did it. I'm going to sue you. Threatened to sue Wall Street Journal. A week later, magically, the book appears. And it corresponds directly to what they said, down to the nasty drawing. Who would have access to that book? Ghislaine Maxwell. All right. So what happens? Todd Blanche gets sent, right? Todd Blanche was Donald Trump's private attorney. All right. He's now the deputy attorney general. Todd Blanche gets dispatched from Washington, D.C. to go to Florida. Very rare. The deputy attorney general never leaves Washington, D.C. Now, you should be asking if they're trying to make a deal with Ghislaine Maxwell, shouldn't the prosecutor be the one? You're a lawyer, you know this. The prosecutor is the one who goes and talks. Who was the prosecutor? Anyone remember?
Oh, sorry, I got excited. It's James Comey's daughter.
Yes. What happened to Maureen Comey?
She was fired by
the week before.
Pam Bondi. Yeah.
The week before.
Yeah.
So then Maureen Comey gets fired. Todd Blanche goes. Less than a week later, after those 2 days, Ghislaine Maxwell gets transferred to Texas, a minimum security camp. That means that somebody, Todd Blanche, went to the director of Bureau of Prisons and made them do a transfer that has never been given to anyone ever before. You all with me? All right. So this is an active cover-up that has been happening for the past year. And then Pam Bondi's the one, remember she went on Fox, she goes, I have the files right here. All the files have been released. So what Donald Trump did is he gave his base temporarily the scalp of Pam Bondi, and he thought, this will satiate the waters, right? He then said it's a cover-up and a distraction, and you saw it this week, Pam Bondi. She's no longer Attorney General. She's in civilian life. Sorry, House Democrats, she can't come and testify. But then yesterday, the heavens parted. A gift was given to us. Because at the end of the day, all these snakes, Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem, Melania Trump, who cannot speak English even though she's been here for 30 years. She gives, and I know you all were here so you didn't know this, right? You were in Vegas. She does an impromptu 6-minute statement. Okay? Now, check it out. 6 weeks. Epstein. No one's talking about Epstein. Everyone's talking about Epstein. How come no one's talking about Epstein? Because of this failed, unwinnable war in Iran. We could talk about that in a second.
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's coming.
Okay? Distraction complete. Melania comes out, and you all know the Streisand effect? All right, for those who don't know what the Streisand effect is, this is the greatest example of the Streisand effect. Streisand effect refers to Barbara Streisand tried to avoid photos of her.
You say Barbara Streisand like Barbara Walters?
Barbara Streisand, yes. So Barbara wanted aerial photos of her massive mansion hidden. Before she intervened, only like 9 people had downloaded the photos. As a result of her intervention, it became a story. Thousands of people started downloading it. That's called the Streisand effect. In your attempt to bury a story, you amplify the story. Yesterday, Streisand effect on steroids. Awesome. Melania Trump comes out unannounced, and out of nowhere, no one's talking about Epstein. Everyone's talking about this failed effing war. She goes, I want everyone to know I did not do anything with Jeffrey Epstein and that I was not a victim, and these photos that are around are very, very salacious and they hurt me in my image. And I'm like, this is awesome. Something's about to drop. And
I like how she said they hurt me in my image. She just slightly misspoke, at least in your impersonation.
Yeah. She
hurts me in my image.
I'm like, aren't you, like, can we just say this real quick? Let's be petty. Donald Trump, the most xenophobic, racist as F, white supremacist president. 2 of his 3 wives were immigrants with deep, thick Eastern European accents. Melania has been here 30 years, still can't speak English.
Yeah.
Change starts at home. But I digress. I don't know if you saw, but let me just give you this news item and then we can move on. So we were trying to speculate, like, what's happening, right?
Oh, I think I saw you posting about what you're about. No, I'm not going to tell them. You will, but they should go to your feed to see it. But there's some woman came out of the woodwork and she was, go ahead, do it.
The snakes and the vipers, they turn on each other. Melania Trump alleges that the first person who introduced her to Donald Trump was not Jeffrey Epstein, but her former model manager, Paolo Zampoli, an Italian-American agent and businessman who ran in the same circles as Epstein, Trump, and Jean-Luc Brunel. Jean-Luc Brunel was the French model agent who gave a pipeline of young Eastern European girls to Epstein, trafficked those girls, and also raped those girls. Paolo Zampoli says that he is the one who brought Melania as a young model to America. You all with me so far? He says that in 1998, he was the one who introduced Melania to Trump. He says he'll swear by it, all right? He also brought in 2001, 2002, a 17-year-old model, Amanda Ungara, I think her name. You could check it out right now, who was 17 years old, and she came to America, landed in New York City, via Jeffrey Epstein's private plane. He brought her in as a model, became infatuated with her, but says, I only had sex with her after she was legal. They have a kid. He fathers a child with her, right? He whores around. He's vulgar. He's disgusting. Recently, in the last few years, nasty custody battle, right? She leaves him, marries someone else in Florida, doesn't become a citizen. He is in Trump's inner circle. He actually has a position, and he's also on the board of the Kennedy Center. Couple of months ago, and I'm so glad now this story is coming out, New York Times had this piece. Paolo Zampolo leans on his Trump contacts and asks ICE to deport her during this heated child custody battle. She gets deported, and she is now separated from her son. 2 days ago, she threatens Melania on Twitter, you better not mess with me. You knew I was in ICE detention. I was so nice to you. I know your family. I'm coming after you. She apparently has given her first exclusive interview to El País, which is coming out tomorrow. So I'm like, watch this space, because I knew she's getting ahead of something. And then Michael Wolff, who is a piece of shit, is sitting on thousands. He told me, I've interviewed him twice. He's sitting on hundreds of hours of what he says are conversations he had with Jeffrey Epstein. And he has said that Epstein said to him that the first time Melania and Donald had sex was on his private plane, the Lolita Express. So Melania has a lot of questions that she has to answer. So does Paolo. So does Donald Trump. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Got to do a live read. First of all, what I was going to say is that retelling is part of why I think you're successful. Like, I don't know if you noticed when I was like, you tell it. Because even if I had just read that story, I couldn't retell it that way. The way that you do that is actually a huge part of why I like listening to you, because you're good at breaking stories down. Then, that wasn't what I criticized Rachel Maddow and some other people in progressive media for doing, connecting the dots and saying, I don't know, I'm just asking questions. I don't always love when she does that, and I don't love when she uses the phrase, or anybody does, watch this space. So that irked the shit out of me when you just did that. But what you did do...
Follow the thread.
What you did do is a perfect job of recapping the journalism out there, most importantly about this woman who's gone out in public to threaten Melania Trump. Absolutely. Like, I just read this story this morning. Maybe some of you have as well. But that's a pretty accurate retelling of it. It's a pretty big deal. The timing of it is wild and crazy that Melania Trump made that speech. There's also reporting that Donald Trump and I guess the White House didn't know it was coming, which is really hard to believe. So there's, I guess, the obvious question.
Well, is it hard to believe? Because a lot of people are saying it's really hard to believe. But then another part of me is saying, she threw Donald under the bus. I heard that 6 minutes. She didn't mention him at all. She was like, hey, y'all, I had nothing to do with these mother effers. I'm taking care of myself. I'm protecting my skin. Peace. So that Melania is the vipers we're talking about, these women who are utterly complicit. And you should never have any type of pity for Melania. She's been complicit from day one. She was the one who joined Donald Trump in the racist SF birther conspiracy. People forget that. I keep receipts. Right? And
another great thing about you do keep receipts.
And she was also, remember when she went, when he was separating children, and still many of these children have been kidnapped and separated, she wore that jacket, I don't care, do you? And then when she was asked about it, she goes, I was trolling liberal media, and I was for liberal media that I said I don't care about it. And so she's been actively complicit in this. She's used Donald Trump to get herself the Einstein visa, to get her family visas and citizenship. And by the way, she has questions to answer because we don't know, like, how did you hook up with Paolo Zampoli? Did you come here legally? Why did he introduce you to Donald Trump? How are you in these circles? Why did you party with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein claims he had sex with you a year before Donald Trump. She never answers these questions. And now the one person who can connect all these dots is this woman, Scorned. They deported her to keep her away from her kid. So I'm like, I'm all in Team Amanda. Like, you know that scene from Waiting to Exhale where Angela Bassett lights it? Yeah. I'm like, do it, girl. Blow up the,
This woman threatened, just publicly, just to say it one more time, Melania, on Twitter.
On Twitter. Go read on Twitter. Yep. And she allegedly has given her first exclusive that should drop tomorrow.
Okay. So that's a huge story, and I'm glad that we touched on that and retold that one. Quickly, just on Kristi Noem's firing, being replaced by Mark Wayne, who seems like a great guy.
Look at what they make you give. All the women who are I'm going to include women with people of color as a marginalized community. Like, this is a Bulgarian rapist, and you thought you'd be safe. You used and abused your power and privilege to go bang Corey Lewandowski in the sky. You wore your little Rolex. You were a cosplay Crusader Barbie. You thought you'd be safe, parroting the line. The day Renee Nicole Good was shot and killed, while her body was still warm, Kristi Noem came out and called her a domestic terrorist. You all remember that? And she said she used her car as a weapon. I keep receipts. And you thought, she'd be safe. She wasn't safe. And then look at who they're going after, the women. Go after Kristi Noem. Go after Pam Bondi. Tulsi Gabbard apparently has a foot in the door as well. Watch that space. I just did that for you. And then also, apparently, Pete Hegseth. The White House is after Pete Hegseth because he's such a debacle of a cosplay crusader. They're trying to, Rubio and Vance and others have the knives out for Hegseth.
You mentioned Hegseth, DUI hire. And it takes,
it's funny because it's true.
Yeah, like everybody who knows him knows that he should be nowhere near anything at all. A person, a child, an institution, any women, according to his mom.
Yeah.
His own mom.
Have you read that mom's email to him?
I have it posted on my bulletin board.
It is the type of email that as a son, you're like, if I do one thing in life, never get an email like this from my mother.
Yeah.
It is, for those who don't know, his mother literally sides with his ex-wife, says, I'm ashamed of you, you're an abuser, this is disgusting, and the New York Times published it.
So using Hegseth, the mention of him, and I obviously want to get to the war and talk about where we're at in America right now. But you and I have talked, and I would argue that we've probably been two of the people, I think people here would attest to it, who have talked to as many experts on and talked about Christian nationalism and defined it and warned of it and interviewed everybody in a disproportionate way and since 2016. We have been talking about, we talked about it back in Aspen, we talked about it, we talked about it before then. I've been talking about Christian nationalism probably even longer than you were. Because you weren't a public commentator as much, because I'm older.
Well, I wasn't born.
Because I'm older,
you're really old.
I'm old as fuck.
Yeah.
50. And so, but body fat, staying there. The war in Iran being led by Pete Hegseth and then Donald Trump's comments as well, I don't think it's too far to compare what America is. Let me start over. People used to always say, why are you so focused, right-wingers would call the show, why are you always talking about, and why are progressives always talking about Christians and demonizing Christians and never talking about Muslims who are sexist and throwing gays off. And I always said, like, I'll talk about the people who have the power and who are the threat. In America, Muslims are a small minority. They're not militant. They're not throwing gays off the roof, whatever. I don't agree with any really religious ideas, but the threat in America is the same threat it's always been, the terrorist white supremacists. They're terrorists, and now they have all the power, and their power is imbued with this religiosity, and it's overt. And so when you have Hegseth saying, pray for our troops, that's normal. That's normal. But saying
on bended knee.
I'll allow you to bend down on your knee to pray. You can pray however you want for people. I don't care. It's a nice sentiment. Keep them in your thoughts. Fine. But in Jesus' name, you can't say in Jesus' name if you're the Secretary of Defense, especially not if you're in a war now with Iranians who have been saying those kind of things, because they're fundamentalists, theocracy, about us forever. We have become them, maybe worse than them, American Taliban. There's all kinds of different words that people use. But this looks like a real holy war that we never should have been in, but with them in power, that's where we're at. And of course, I think that's the scariest thing that we all think is like, oh good, the rapture people are in charge. The people who believe in the rapture are now able to bring it on. So that's the first question I wanted to have you just banter about, that the Christian nationalists are now fighting a war against the Muslim theocracy who's been calling us the great Satan. It's like, can they just, like those guys, can we just put them all in a ring and have them kill each other?
Well, it's if indeed Muslims were trying to take over America, we failed horribly. We're only 1% of the population. And Mamdani was our best bet, still hasn't implemented Sharia. So we played our best card and we lost. Actually, our best card was Barack Hussein Obama, my Muslim brother, who had 8 years as the presidency, ate bacon openly, drank alcohol, and said he worshiped Jesus. So the greatest threat, one of the top threats in America, is white Christian nationalism. It is a threat to our freedom. It is a threat to women's rights. It is a threat to the rights of the most marginalized. It is a threat to separation of church and state. The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, wrote a book called American Crusade. Very subtle. In this book, he outlines his this type of extremist eschatology that he belongs to, right? The fact that they believe that they're stewards of a warrior Jesus and that America is a holy land that they will use then to establish the kingdom of earth, not just in America. This is key. Because you said domestic. I'm going to go a step further. International. They want dominion on earth. So they use America, they start America first, and then they spread. Okay? Pete Hegseth on his body has tattoos that are affiliated with Christian nationalists. The Iron Cross, Deus Vult. Underneath the Deus Vult tattoo on his bicep, a lot of people didn't catch this. Well, I'm Muslim, so I caught it. You know, when he was trying to do his, he cosplay crusades. He's a LARPer. So in his cosplay crusade, thank you for understanding that reference. When he works out with the Navy SEALs and he barely does the pull-up, right? I saw like a couple of months ago, I'm like, is that Arabic? What's underneath Deus Vult? And in Arabic, he has kafir. Kafir in Arabic. Now you're all asking, what's kafir mean? Kafir in Arabic and for Muslims is one who aggressively, deliberately rejects God. So why would a man who's a Christian crusader, who literally has God wills it, put kafir underneath God wills it? Because he's signaling to Muslims, to you I'm a kafir. It's like someone who's anti-Semitic in Yiddish writing goyim. Does that make sense?
I have that tattoo.
Yeah, which he does, all over his chest.
My bad.
And this is a man who 10 years ago drunkenly yelled, kill all Muslims. Now, he belongs to Doug Wilson's church. Doug Wilson, for those who don't know, proudly, openly, is part of a church that says, I don't believe in the separation of church and state, openly mocks women, just has fun mocking them. Says, you all are second-class citizens. When we get in control, we're going to repeal the 19th Amendment. That gave 51% of the population the right to vote, by the way. Doesn't believe in church and state. Thinks slavery was mutually beneficial. And says that the Bible actually endorses the type of slavery that was in America, right? He has invited Doug Wilson every month to give the prayer service in the Pentagon. All right. When Pamela, what was her name? Pamela Brown, CNN did a 6-minute expose on Doug Wilson and his church, and they're openly saying this. That's the thing with Pete's right. They're literally telling you the supervillain plot. It's like a Bond supervillain, like literally tapping Bond on the shoulder and saying, "Excuse me, are you Mr. Bond? Please, I have a slideshow. I want to take over the world." Like they're telling you this, right? Pete Kekseth responded, "All of Christ for all of life," which is the motto. So enthusiastically supporting this, right? They also believe in something called the Seven Mountains Mandate. Does anyone know what the Seven Mountains Mandate is?
I was raised in it.
Tell them what the Seven Mountains Mandate is.
You.
Seven Mountains Mandate literally is, we believe that we have to control the U.S. government and we have to take over the 7 pillars of America. We have to control education, culture, the economy, religion, politics, judiciary, and one more. So it's called the Seven Mountains Mandate. And once we have controlled these 7 pillars, we now have dominion. They literally are telling you that this is our plot. And these people are in the White House. And I always joke, can you imagine if Mamdani said this shit? If he just openly said, "Hey guys, I belong to the Seven Mountains Mandate. We're taking the 5 pillars of Islam, adding 2 more. First of all, the first pillar is to become the mayor of New York City. Gotcha. The second pillar is to get Texas. Then we're going to get the White House. We need just 2 more senators. Then we're going to get Hassan Minhaj and Riz Ahmed to take over Hollywood. And then we're going to have Islamic Sharia. All right, bye. Take care." Like this country would burn the F down. These people are in the White House telling you this plot. And like you said, he is praying on bended knee, not for the troops, but in Jesus' name. And then you had Lindsey Graham. Lindsey, very straight heterosexual man who loves the vagina.
Nah, I don't like being brought up like that, Waj. Don't talk about me. Over here flipping some hotcakes.
Lindsey Graham.
Lady G to you.
Lady Graham, 4 weeks ago, what did he say? "This is a religious war." It is. And then you had, that's an exact quote.
"Don't bother me, I'm at the Magic Kingdom making honey biscuits."
Literally was at Magic Kingdom. By himself.
I don't think he was by himself. I think he was with his friend Peter Pan. I don't know what that meant.
Totally normal for a grown-ass man to go to Disneyland by himself.
I just want to see make-believe land. I want to fly away.
Don't judge me. I'm just a Disney adult. While he was
Where's
saying,
my fast pass?
Yeah, I have many fast passes for young men. I will give a fast pass. Sorry, too soon? He is a homosexual. That's what we're talking about.
How dare you come on my broadcast?
He is a gay. Everyone in DC knows that he is a gay. He's the G of the LGBTQ, which is fine. Come out, Lindsay. It's a safe space. We will accept you. But he called it a religious war. As they assassinated...
Not a safe space in a South Carolina
Ayatollah Khamenei during Ramadan. And then you had Mike Huckabee, who's a white Christian nationalist, Christian Zionist, openly saying the most outlandish shit, because if those who don't know, these people believe...
The ambassador to Israel.
Yeah, the ambassador to Israel believe that Jews need to control Jerusalem as a necessary precondition for the return of Jesus. So they are literally using and abusing their power to recreate their fantasy to create the end of times. What could go wrong, Pete?
I don't know, but brings me to my next live read, Return to Jesus. Folks, go to returntojesus.com right now and sign up, offer code SUPD, and the rapture will happen. If enough people sign up.
My whole thing is, send Elon to space now. Send Bezos to space now. And maybe these people don't take your vaccines, drink your raw milk, just go to a little island and then go meet God.
Enough about...
You can clap for that. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. I want to ask you one more big question, which is your reaction. 2 nights ago, many of us were packing our bags to go to the airport to fly. And I don't know about you, but it felt weird to me that I might get on an airplane if we were attacking Iran in any kind of way. I mean, we were. But I think a lot of us were probably worried about, well, no matter what, even if you weren't going to the airport doing nothing, what was going to happen by that deadline on Tuesday night. So I just want to get your interpretation, your framing of what transpired and why and how we should see it and what is going to happen over the next 2 weeks, because everything is 2 weeks from now with this psycho.
He's the Inshallah president. Inshallah, 2 weeks.
So
The way my dad used to use it, right? We're going to go to Toys R Us? Inshallah. Never.
Toys R Us.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of what happened? How it went down the other night in terms of the run up to it, the tweets, and then the taco, and where we are at now, where a lot of experts, so many people I've seen, Chris, what's his name? Robert Pape, who I think you talked to.
Yeah, I've talked to
framing it as like the worst foreign policy disaster and loss since Vietnam is how he said it this morning. How do you see it? How do you see?
Yeah, I don't think he's wrong. There's a reason why for 47 years, no president, either Republican or Democrat, has ever engaged in Iranian regime change. Benjamin Netanyahu has tried for 40 years to convince Republican and Democratic presidents, and even George W. Bush, who was a dumbass. You all remember him? He was so stupid, he goes, I'm going to go attack Iraq, but I'm not dumb enough to attack Iran. I'm going to do that clusterfuck because they tried to kill my daddy. But even he was like, and then Benjamin Netanyahu came here. Remember, he came during that performance, if you're old enough, when we did that theater. These guys are so lazy, they didn't even try to sell us the war. I'm like, at least try to sell me bullshit. At least perform. At least try. I'm old enough to remember you had Colin Powell holding up a vial of uranium. You had Benjamin Netanyahu come from Israel, right? All of them are like weapons of mass destruction, right? They made the pitch. They made the case. They rallied the American public. These guys didn't even they're so lazy. The laziness offends me more than the war crimes. But even George W. Bush, George Bush, H. Bush, Obama, Biden, all of them knew. Cluster F. You don't engage in a regime change. What did Obama do? Obama actually engaged in diplomacy. The JCPOA was a diplomatic coup. Through diplomacy, you brought Iran to the table, you relieved the sanctions, right? Lowered the threat.
I think diplomacy is for cucks.
Probably MAGA would say like diplomacy's gay. Then that's what Pete Hegseth would say. Are you gay? You want diplomacy? Just blow that shit up, bro. Blow that shit up and you go bang hot chicks. That's what you do. Be a man. I'm a Christian. The sad part is that probably is how they talk in the Situation Room.
An exact quote.
So what happened was, I just want you all to remember, because he blew it up. Donald Trump blew it up in his first term. Who convinced him to blow it up? Netanyahu. Cosplay crusaders, neocons. You could blow up that black man's diplomacy. I couldn't I? I'll blow up that black's diplomacy. I'll be the one who does it. Yeah, and then he did it. World became more unsafe. Now put yourself in Iran's shoes. Iranian theocracy, terrible, literally has killed its own people, right, who are uprising against it. But Iran goes, bro, we came to the table. We did everything right, you blew it up. What message did it send the world?
Never make a deal with those guys.
America can't be trusted.
Yeah.
All right. Then, second administration. What does Donald Trump do? Joins Iran in the 12-day war. We obliterated their nuclear facilities. No, you didn't.
It joins Israel.
Yeah. Joined Israel. They didn't obliterate. They degraded it. But the world is now sitting there watching. Oh my God. Israel is this rabid chihuahua just destroying the Middle East. And no disrespect to chihuahuas. I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, I know. You're right. But like a rabid animal. Too soon. Is literally this mother effer, God. On the White House 6 weeks ago, as Donald Trump made the announcement that he had joined Israel, he was saying the lie, we obliterated their nuclear weapon. We have to go destroy their nuclear weapons. Excuse me. Pick a lane. Which one? You're saying that you obliterated, and now you're making this bullshit that Iran has nuclear weapons. Literally, I just want you all to know because you can forget, right? 6 weeks ago, the lie that was sold was imminent threat. Iran has nuclear weapons that we apparently obliterated. Make that make sense. And that's why we have to join Israel in this illegal war during Ramadan and assassinate Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader, who is seen as a religious guide to millions of Shias. What could go wrong? Then he says, no regime change, maybe regime change. They were about to attack us. No, they weren't. Long-range ballistic missiles, their own defenses they didn't have, right? Now he's in the cluster F immediately. He's like, oh, shit. Right? New York Times reported this week, Maggie Haberman, that on February 11th, Benjamin Netanyahu comes to the United States. And if there's a smidgen of pride and patriotism, this should like irk you as an American. Netanyahu sits in the Situation Room as an equal to Donald Trump, a foreign leader. pitches him.
Meaning that they sat on the side.
Yeah, like
the president sits
he
at the head of the table, but
he abdicated his seat.
Yep.
This was Trump's seat. He abdicates his seat, sits here. Netanyahu sits across from him as an equal.
Unprecedented, yeah.
Sells him this bullshit war. Donald Trump, this will be the easiest war ever. We will take credit for killing Khamenei. It will be awesome. After the pitch, even John Radcliffe,
CIA.
Yeah, Jay always talk about this, called it farcical. Marco Rubio's quote, bullshit. General Kane said they're over-promising. Right, J.D. Vance was against it. But these reeks are so cowardly because Donald Trump trusted his guts. Instead of holding him back, they said, okay, boss, whatever you want. The people who were the most supportive, Pete Hegseth, cosplay crusader, Lindsey Graham, and also Mike Huckabee. Tucker Carlson comes in last month to the White House. He tries his best, all right? So last Sunday, not even last Sunday, just freaking 5 days ago, we all forget. We should not gloss over this. On Easter Sunday, mother effer, just say Happy Easter. All right? I went to all boys Catholic high school. Even I know what to say. Zoran Mamdani had a fantastic, did you see his tweet? Christ has risen for many, this is a day of celebration, rebirth, and hope. That's beautiful. I know you can't go that deep, Donald Trump. Just Happy Easter, have an emoji of a bunny.
And visit a church.
Yeah, forget it, no.
Okay.
Happy Easter, not even a photo of a cross, emoji of a bunny. It's enough. The bar is so low, it's in hell. This guy literally mocks Christians on Easter, uses foul language, converts to Islam, apparently. Praise be to Allah. Mocks Islam and uses vile language and threatens, let's be honest, like nuclear apocalypse, right? The next day, we were like, because Aaron Rupar said this, I agree with him. It was Sunday. Tuesday, 8 p.m. is the deadline. He goes, did he just threaten nuclear war? And all these people are like, no, he didn't. He wouldn't do that because they still haven't learned the effing lesson. They still suffer from failure imagination. On Monday, what does he do? Threatens to obliterate
the entire civilization? Yeah.
We're going to obliterate the civilization. You're going to blow up 90 million people through a nuclear weapon with a nuclear war, right? Then he chickens out. But at that moment, many of us were like, this mother effer might do it. Or Israel might do it because they're crazy. And then at the last second, Pakistan intervenes and they literally, folks, this 10-point plan was the same plan. People forget this because they haven't been following this. Literally, Iran delivered this plan weeks ago. What Donald Trump did was take the plan. I have a new plan. And then I kept saying I was on with Robert Pape. So Robert Pape and I were talking. It was scheduled. And as this was breaking, we were talking about breaking news. And Robert and I were like, wait for it. Wait for Iran to say, okay, Iran's on board. Wait for it. All right, America's on board. Who's not on board? Israel. So we were on Tuesday night. We were like, wait for Israel. And our prediction was Israel will blow this shit up. Less than a day later, Israel literally blows up Beirut, kills over 200 people, wounds over 800, wounds civilians, because it's not in Israel's interest for war. Israel wants permanent insecurity in the Middle East for permanent security for Israel.
And Trump called him and said, stop.
Well, no, he didn't.
He didn't.
So Robert and I, literally in real time, you can go watch it, we literally gave Trump ideas. We're like, this is what Trump should do. He should get on Truth Social right now because Israel's going to F this up. He should lie and say the following. Thank you to the world. You're welcome. Netanyahu and I have removed the threat. The war is over. I've talked to Israel, and Israel is going to withdraw hostilities. Thank you, Israel. And no thanks to our allies who are gay, who did nothing. And we want to just say that this is a peaceful resolution. Immediately after tweeting that lie, I would call Israel. I would say, Israel, you need our weapons. You need our support. Without America, you can't do this shit. I'm turning off the tap. Trump didn't do that. What did he do? Less than a day later, Israel lies, bombs Lebanon. What does J.D. Vance say? You all remember this? We didn't think Lebanon was on the table. What happens yesterday comes out. Donald Trump knew that Lebanon was included. Pakistan knew Lebanon was included. Our European allies knew Lebanon was included. Again, we get cucked for Israel. And so now what's going to happen? My hope is the following. He sends J.D. Vance, Witkoff, and Kushner to Islamabad. They make a side deal. They carve out Israel. Israel will continue doing batshit stuff because that's what Israel does. But then maybe you have a kind of a new normal, which is not a negotiated treaty, but okay, we won't support Israel. just open up the Strait of Hummus. But Iran, I'm kidding. He goes, the Strait of Hummus is delicious. It's thick. It's creamy. I love it with garlic. My hope is there's a new normal where there's not a negotiated treaty, but Trump says we won't participate. But what they have to do is rein in Israel. And who the F can rein in Israel? The United States of America. And the question I have for all of you is why? Why does not our Congress, including Schumer, I know Democrats don't like this, rein in this, pardon me for saying this insane genocidal chihuahua that is literally harming international and American security?
There's other dog breeds that you could
name a dog. German Shepherd.
You know what? Name a docile dog, like more like a golden. A good doodle.
Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
I don't want to say pit bull because pit bull gets stereotyped.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, so that's why I went for the Chihuahua, but apparently Chihuahua gets stereotyped.
Yep.
So we're going to go for
you're trying
Pomeranian.
to minimize him. Yeah,
genocidal rabid Pomeranian.
There it is.
There it is.
We've got a winner. You've won the shirt. We don't have anything. What do we have?
And can I get you all more pissed off? You know what Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, said in the first weekend of February? This February. 2 months ago.
Did he say it strongly?
You know what he said? This is public. He said, my number one priority as Senate Minority Leader is to make sure Israel gets all the aid that it needs. You know what Democratic leaders have been talking about for the past 3 weeks? Not Epstein, not this war. Hassan Piker.
Yeah. We can talk about that.
Madness.
Are
you guys bored? Are you guys okay?
Round of applause for Waj for explaining all that. And I use that as a way to also pivot and bring up JL Cauvin, if you wouldn't mind doing whatever you do to come up. Because the coolest thing about having both these guys here is they're two of my favorite guests, two of my favorite people to talk to. And last year we had some of our favorite guests here. Maybe move back to that one and I'll move in this. Yeah. We're
the only ones who said yes.
Yes, and these two are the only ones who said yes. But to have
It's not on.
I'll get it. To have both them here together in conversation, I thought would be awesome. So I want to spend the rest of the time with both of you. We can go wherever we want. We can have fun.
Quick correction: it's Pete Hegseth.
Oh, what did we say? Did we mispronounce it?
I think he was saying Kegseth.
Oh.
My bad.
Heg.
Okay.
Heg.
Thank you for correcting that.
An H.
Thank you for correcting
It's
that.
our Secretary of War you're talking about.
I want to get any comments.
My bad.
Any comments or questions that you have, and any comments or questions anybody else has. I'm going to put this mic out too. If you want to come grab it and ask a question, including if you want to ask for a bit or for us to riff on something. For the two of them, they're both, I hate to say it, much funnier than me. I feel that's why I am smart enough to have them on all the time because they make me look good. I get the credit for it. When somebody comes out,
give it up to Pete. He's funny. He's a funny guy.
I am funny. I am funny. I'm not saying I'm not funny. I don't think I need to say it because I am. But I learned a long time ago when I was at SiriusXM and I was hosting a show on the comedy channels. The guy that was executive in charge, he said, you know, when Johnny Carson had Robin Williams on the Tonight Show, the next day everybody was like, "Did you see the Tonight Show last night? Did you see Johnny last night?" They never said, "Did you see Robin Williams?" So did you hear stand up? He had a very funny segment with Waj or JL. And then so I get the credit, so I know what I'm doing. So thank you for making your way out here. JL came on a train, so we can make fun of him for that. We did earlier. But I just want you to criticize his impressions. Because I'm sure you have. I felt like his Melania and Trump were similar, and I felt like his Netanyahu was a Russian lady.
I liked his Melania. I think
it was bad. It was not bad.
His Trump, the first Trump that he did, sounded like you two went to the same Trump school.
Yes,
like a sort of delicate, like kind of talking like this. And then he got a little bit more into the sort of SNL growl version of Trump later.
Yes.
And then Netanyahu, I just think needs more bass.
Sort of Donald Trump. Kind of down here.
Yes.
Do you hear how deep my voice is, Donald? My balls are much bigger than yours. So listen to what I say.
My balls are kosher balls.
They are matzo balls.
Matzo balls.
Very big, soaked in brine.
Brine. Do you have
pickle juice for the matzo balls?
Keep doing.
Do you do this? Do you do the sniff? I've added the sniff for Trump.
Oh yeah, he does.
I feel like it's very important.
Insulting question.
So here's where we're at now is sort of in a nursing home supervision level, Trump.
There it is.
And it's sort of, just when and the sniff comes sort of naturally to me because when I'm doing the Trump, I sort of am putting my voice out. So I'm losing breath slowly during the impression. And then I just have to actually organically breathe it in. And that sort of fits.
Uncanny. It's
but I notice he has this one burst of energy where the growl comes at the end.
And
I don't know where.
And they bring this guy, Wajahat. Ali, what kind of name is that? What kind of name is that? I lost all my energy. Now I got the one burst and ready to fall asleep. They say, sure, you don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. You're talking. You got a Muslim and a bald guy next to you. It's very dangerous stuff. Very dangerous, by the way, to sit so close to a radical left Antifa. We call him Anpita. And then this radical left Muslim. It's Islam. He does Islam very strongly. And it's they say it's peace, but I don't see it. I see it as not peace. I see it as a FIFA Peace Prize recipient. I think I know peace when I see it, and I don't see a lot of peace. Excuse me. I don't see a lot of peace when I thank you.
What did you? There'll be more of that tonight. Don't miss tonight.
Too much. Too much.
I'm going to. He's going to be performing tonight, of course, as Trump. Waj, I'm going to try to get him on stage. I'm hoping my friend Mark Lipsky will do 5 minutes, and we have some other.
I just want to be unvaccinated John Stockton, giving him assists.
Yes.
And he'll be like Karl Malone. You just got to give him just get a little bit.
In case folks didn't hear earlier, there was a lot of reference.
That was a deep cut. I'm old enough to reference that.
He's a huge NBA and Utah Jazz fan for no explainable reason.
Karl Malone likes girls, and John Stockton is not vaccinated and a crazy Trumper.
Yeah, it's sort of rough when your childhood heroes, when you learn about them as an adult.
Or Karl Malone stuff. He's so broken up by this.
All I can say is, he's from the same part of the country where Jerry Lee Lewis was from, where at a time, maybe a 13-year-old was. No.
But I want to ask you also, just quickly, about Waj's Kash Patel impersonation made me feel uncomfortable and unsafe. I don't think it was a good impression, but it was a character. Me feel
he has a character.
Yes.
Of Cash Me Outside. How about that?
But
I've committed to the character of
Cash.
Right, you did.
Sometimes, like Will Ferrell's George Bush had like hints of George Bush, but it was really its own thing.
So he captures the character, but would you even attempt a Kash Patel? Have you thought about a Kash Patel?
I have. He doesn't get enough. I think he could be somebody I could get, but he doesn't get enough airtime. Mm-hmm. I've got to get the reps, and I'd have to find some way of finding study materials on Kash Patel to get it. So
porn sites. Visit porn sites.
Yeah. No, I do that to try and get the people to
do research,
give up porn and come to Christ.
Yeah. Don't try to look at a porn site in Virginia, my friend told me. You live in Virginia, but I was in Virginia, and
tried to see porn in Virginia.
I tried to look at a porn site because I was doing research, and they don't allow you to.
You wanted to visit the same porn sites that Kash Patel visits.
Usually that's how I wake up in the morning, but. What would WWKD? What would Cash? So would you mind just entertaining me, because I worked hard to produce this event, and I would like to make some requests. Would you, Waj, interview RFK Jr. just for like 3 questions? Would you? I'm sure you would love to get RFK. I'm sure you would love to get RFK. He's on your show, and if you could get RFK on your show, I'm sure you'd have a few questions for him. What would you ask him if you could? Because now you can.
First of all, everyone, please welcome the Director of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., to this podcast. I don't know if you should applaud, but
thank you, everybody.
Can I just ask you what made you decide to wear a shirt for this event?
That's already a very aggressive sort of question to ask of me, but the testosterone supplements that I'm currently taking have particularly forced my nipples to protrude excessively today. And so they basically poke somebody's eye out if I wasn't wearing a T-shirt and a shirt to suppress them.
Oh, I appreciate that. I for one, would have liked to see the pointy nipples.
She would be in great danger if I was not wearing a shirt.
You're all about safety, so thank you for protecting Americans. I appreciate that. You're from your protruding nipples. It was just announced 2 weeks ago that you have inverted the food pyramid against the recommendation of any doctor. And you're all in now on protein, and you're against grains and fruit. Why is that?
The tone of your question implies that you're not taking this very seriously. But I will tell you right now, protein is most essential when you're a 70-year-old trying to fuck Hollywood actresses and have affairs with journalists. You're going to want a lot of muscle. And if I'm eating fruits and vegetables, that might be good for my carbon footprint, but it's sure not going to get me the amounts of pussy that I'm looking for. And we have lost young men because we've been emphasizing the wrong things. Good stewardship of the earth is all well and good, but young men want pussy.
I thought it would be because you think eating nuts makes you gay.
You know, that it doesn't make you gay. I've never said that. I've never said that once. Eating nuts is indicative of a gay lifestyle, but it does not make it. And that's an important distinction that you wouldn't know because you haven't read the journals that I've read. But eating nuts is gay adjacent, but it does not make you gay.
So when was the last time you had an almond, sir?
I had a bite out of an Almond Joy recently, and I didn't enjoy it. So we're looking into possibly putting a label on all Almond Joy wrappers that says "Joy not guaranteed."
Wow.
And that is why we are asking, excuse me.
Sorry.
That is why we are asking Congress for an extra $520 million to make sure that our kids aren't misled when they try to buy Almond Joys. It should be called Almond, maybe all right.
Well, I had a final question because I know you care about the children, and your rebranding of Almond Joy, the kids will love it. But you recently told kids that they should try tanning salons, and you have tried to remove the restrictions and the warnings on tanning salons that could cause cancer in children. Can you please tell us about the benefits of tanning salons for our youth?
Okay. Once again, I can see this is coming from a very ignorant place.
I obviously don't need it.
Something that has been affecting a lot of our old people, seniors, is cancer. Very high rates of cancer. And if we can build up a natural immunity to cancer in our youth through tanning beds, imagine, because your young people have stronger immune systems, so if we can build up an army of cancer-resistant youth, when they are older, they won't get cancer. And that will save us literally trillions of dollars. And I don't know about you, but I think that's a good idea.
Wow.
So your plan is to build natural immunity by culling the youth who get cancer and die from cancer, and the ones who emerge are the ones who are the future race.
No, I mean, that, when you say it, it actually sounds pretty good, but that's not what I meant. No, our data from both Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, both of them are in agreement. 2 out of 2 doctors surveyed agree that this plan will work and that we will at most lose 20% of our youth. And that's, as a 70-year-old,
acceptable
that's
loss.
a risk I'm willing to take.
RFK for the children, everyone.
Everybody. Ah, Jesus. I told you. He's good. He's good. But, oh my God. Yeah, is it hard to do? Is it
My
hard?
act is sponsored by Ricola.
Oh, God. Well, I'm excited to see more of that tonight. To wrap up our conversation, I thought we would just, and again, if anybody has a question or anything they want us to ask, want to ask these guys to talk about, in the last 10 or so minutes here, I just thought we'd shit on everyone. Sure. Because there's so much, every day there's so much anger and that is natural and normal because of the injustice and because of the overt horrible racism and sexism and anti-gay, and it's just it's helpful, I think, sometimes to let it out. And the three of us are pretty good at that usually, and taking the piss out of any of these people. And we've already talked about a few of them, but we can analyze it. We can have fun either way. But I just sometimes every day, maybe once a week. What happened?
My sponsor airdropped some Ricola. Now it's assault.
That's why we need drone technology.
By the way, take good notice of Cassie's shirt. It's a little understated, but it does say 86, 84, 67.
67.
You have to, nope, that's not what it is, but it's misleading, and I think it's
wow,
threatening.
So this is a hate group?
86.
Is that what this is?
47 is the Donald Trump. 86
47.
means something to do to Donald Trump.
So, but I there you go.
And God could do that naturally, or McDonald's.
I can't believe you two assholes threw in lozenges while we're still on mic. You hear it in Waj's mouth like it's in my soul. I just hear it clicking around as he's just talking. He's like, why don't
It revived me.
I'm a fucking professional broadcaster over here. You're not supposed to throw a lozenge.
Look how happy we are. We're like, oh, it saved us. You want one? There's a third one coming.
Let me ask you a personal, I'm a professional. I would never
be a man. Take it. Take the Ricola
sandwich.
Let it drip down your throat like a real man.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
John Stockton all day, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the black guy who tips, Rod Morrow, has walked up to the stage. In case you can't see it, you feel free to have a seat and join us.
Sit with us.
Yeah. That's
all right,
now on.
My question is this. I've been thinking about this a lot.
So good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you stepped up here. Yeah.
Is the Kool-Aid Man, in y'all's professional opinion, is the Kool-Aid Man the liquid or the container that the liquid is in?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. I always thought of him as a container, but I think my categories and boundaries were limited. And now, in the 21st century, I feel like the Kool-Aid Man could be a great many things. And so he is both the liquid and the container. He contains multitudes because he is multitudes.
He can't be contained.
No, and I mean, we're all on the same side here, but as a God-fearing Catholic, there's only two states of matter that the Kool-Aid Man can be, one or the other. None of this non-binary status for beverages.
Yeah.
He is the container, and his blood, the blood of the Kool-Aid Man, as I like to call it, is what runs in him, and so you're just drinking Kool-Aid Man's blood. He is the pitcher. His face is on the pitcher. If you pour the liquid out, there's no face.
Right.
You know, as God intended, he is a pitcher, and the liquid is
the face is on the container. Mm-hmm. The liquid, no face.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Ask another deep question like that.
I didn't get your answer yet.
Oh, I think he's the container, but as soon as you brought him up, I always had another question: was why was he always crashing through a wall? Why was he so excited? Why was it such a big deal that he was there? And then I was going to ask a black people question about Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that can't go wrong.
I mean,
which is
I'm not the official representative, but I can try.
Well, you are at this table.
JL's have.
Well, yeah, but
JL, did y'all have like Flavor Aid or like what y'all?
The question was,
we loved Kool-Aid growing up.
Okay, yeah.
My understanding was that black folks don't use that brand name to refer to it. It would be more likely grape drink, or I don't know that they would say Kool-Aid, which is kind of a catch-all for any fruity drink. So I don't know if you can answer that.
I'm from the South.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, the answer to me is actually the opposite of that. Like if you buy Flavor Aid, that's Kool-Aid.
It's like Xerox. It's the brand that becomes the product.
Like
itself.
you got some purple. No one's ever said purple stuff except Dave Chappelle.
Well,
really?
We have a conversation.
It's a catch-all.
What's your take on that?
Yeah.
Any flavored drinks, and we're getting some more. Okay. Wow, that's a real reach.
But can I tell you, because we also had...
But not Tang. Out of respect for the astronauts, Tang gets to stay Tang.
Right. That's true.
Do black folks drink Tang? Did they? Is it still...
I've drank Tang before, but
Thank you.
Is it me, but isn't Tang always disappointing?
Yeah. I like Tang. I enjoyed Tang as a kid.
You would.
The white guy likes the Tang.
Yeah. JL got a real Tang personality. Because JL like to suffer.
He's like,
you know what I mean?
He's like Tang and mayo sandwiches.
He's also a dreamer. He probably thought if he drank it, like a bunch of other douchebag kids, they were going to end up in space.
Sorry that I respect our astronauts in our space program. Sorry, Pete.
I feel like when you order Tang, you lean back from the table with a real dignified sniff, like,
yes,
I'll just have the
And
Tang.
then the steakhouse says, we don't serve Tang here, sir.
JL swivels the Tang.
Yeah.
He's like,
we gotta let it breathe. You gotta let the canister breathe first.
You take a sip, 2000
with his unseasoned chicken.
Think of one more along these lines, but also while you do, let's all discuss in space, because you brought it up, the astronauts were in space, and Trump called, and it was, I hope you saw this moment, it was a very important moment where he finished talking, and the 4 astronauts all stayed silent. No one wanted to respond to him, and you see the microphone and a bottle of Nutella. It just flies through, and it was a kind of a metaphor, or maybe not, just a literal representation of how we feel about him. What was that about? And a good amount of diversity on that spaceship. You had a Canadian, you had a black guy, you have a woman, and essentially
And then
white.
you have a real astronaut.
And then you have the one who flies the plane, obviously. The pilot, we would only let him, only a white can fly a rocket.
The pilot's the black guy.
No, I don't believe it. Or that's why it'll crash then.
And you're just there are you there assisting the astronauts there? Do you handle like janitorial services on the spaceship? That's very interesting. It's nice that you get to go to space with the astronauts.
I saw
nice.
somebody say they were sad that Charlie Kirk wouldn't get to see this.
What?
On Twitter, and I was like, he wouldn't have thought the black guy could fly the plane.
Right.
Pretty sure this is his whole thing.
He would have definitely been like a good Christian, hoping for it to crash. Yes. To like validate, he goes, I'm not happy it crashed, but black
Blame
pilot.
it on the black guy.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you put a black pilot.
Had a black pilot on the way back from Amsterdam last week. And I knew he was the pilot because I was watching as we were at the gate out the window. I see this guy walk down and start kicking the tires and then looking at the engine, which is what I suspect a lot of pilots do. And then I realized he was in that pilot uniform. He had the wings, but he had a big orange vest on that said pilot. And I just started laughing. I was like, it's just sad because that kind of is a double entendre. Yes, he has to wear it because he's on the tarmac and everybody has to know who he is. But he kept it on to fly. Just to let us know that he was the pilot and we didn't second guess him. I think he was a flight attendant.
Can I say, though,
he didn't keep it on.
The one good news is Artemis, the fact that they're doing this flight, the fact that science is awesome, the fact that it's a diverse crew, the fact that there's a woman there and a black man, the fact that literally the existence and success of this flight is a rebuke of the stupidity and hatred and racism. They don't have to say it.
Right.
They just have to do it, and they do it with joy. And these photos that are coming out, I'm like, that's one positive.
Yeah.
Well,
that America can give to the world.
You're carving out, though, the concern that the female astronaut is bringing. It becomes too emotional in space because women get emotional a lot.
But not
unlike men.
Not like
but
men.
Not Donald Trump.
Not like men who don't get emotional.
Don't get it.
Not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Men
I've been doing a lot of research on
men
this.
get angry, and that's not an emotion.
That
sir.
doesn't count. If you look up the domestic violence and murder rates, it's logical men just
it's called
up
just
and down the police
temperament
blotter.
that we have. To
Passion. Ever heard of
yeah,
it? It's called passion.
Thank you.
This is intense logic.
All right, do you have another one?
All right, I got one more.
Okay, one more, and then we'll go get
on.
drunk or whatever. I haven't eaten.
Right, let's see. What did I have here? Okay.
Like a sandwich.
Male ladybugs.
Oh.
Are they staunch feminist or red pill? Which do y'all think? Because it's got to be one of the two.
Oh, wow. Another great binary.
I would say they're so black-pilled. They're straight up post-Andrew Tate.
Yeah, they can survive anything.
Yeah, the self-loathing, the insecurity in order to mask it. So it's performative ladybug masculinity. So they're like, we're not ladybugs. Right. We're male bugs. Having sex with ladybugs is gay.
They got a lot to prove in the bug world.
I'm not even making that up, folks, by the way.
Someone said men having sex with women is gay.
Yeah, no, Nick Fuentes.
But he's actually gay.
No, Nick Fuentes and then
I thought he was a virgin.
Yeah, but if...
Yeah.
Wow,
we blew her world.
Aside, everybody just responding to Nick Fuentes' virginity, I think, was that she said, "Is he? She can't let it go." Yes.
Hey, wait.
He doesn't have to be.
Was that a is he really? Because you like what? He get hoes, or was it like? Oh my God, he got the nerve to be talking all that shit.
Yeah. Yes, both. Probably a little of both. Yeah.
I know maybe this is the wrong crowd, but I think it's nice to see a young man living his Christian values.
Okay. And what do you think about the ladybugs? The male ladybugs?
I'm going to agree. I don't think they're super feminists. I think they're so angry. Like they grew up where it was like, as people with foreign names, Jean-Louis, whatever your name is.
Whatchamacallit.
It starts out like, oh, no, it's Jean-Louis, not Jean-Louis. And then after many years, you're going, JL is fine. Let's just skip. We'll do letters. And then you're throwing hot coffee at a barista's face one day who can't even get JL right, and you give up on all of it. And I feel like that's where the male ladybugs are. They were like, no, I'm actually a guy. People make that mistake all the time. Okay. And then years go by, or whatever years are in ladybug existence, and
days.
Yeah, they're like, are you fucking kidding me? It's been 12 hours. Are you going to get this right? I am a man.
My pronouns are he, him, bug.
I feel like you ever see the Barbie movie? They're like Ken, but like radicalized Ken.
Yeah, the one that was kind of like
bitter,
evil.
Respect me, and they're like, no, you're foolish.
They either
you're a ladybug.
Completely overcompensate, or they're chill as fuck. There's no in between. I
don't know. I feel like I don't know the answer to the question. I just know that I feel like if a male ladybug had a human voice, like if we anthropomorphized them and you made them an animated movie, that voice.
Maybe one called A Bug's Life.
Well, okay. So if you did A Bug's Life, I feel like the male ladybug should 1,000% be voiced by this guy. We're gonna come over there. We're gonna bomb you. We're gonna, but right after I make this ham biscuit and suck 100 cocks, I'm only 2 rolling rocks away from them. I'm a male ladybug and I am coming for you. And for a bunch of fellas, probably in the end. That's all I would say about it is that. That's what they would say.
Incredible Bill B and DC impression, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you. One more. Well, I'm having too much fun. I don't want this to end. Tonight we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have more fun tonight. I just want to do one more.
Let's take one from the audience.
One more time. Does anybody? Oh, somebody in the on Zoom.
Anybody?
Does anybody else have a mundane question that you want to answer? Desiree, did you make a peep? Oh, someone in the chat did?
Megan has a question.
Oh, well, Rachel, thank you for being Megan's assistant. Okay.
Thank you.
Megan, you're on. Yeah.
Do you guys like Pop-Tarts, and what's the best flavor?
Pop-Tarts.
Do we like Pop-Tarts, and what is the best flavor? Is that your question?
Yes, it's very important.
I'm an adult.
It's a survey.
So no, I'm an adult. And my body's a temple, so I would never let a fucking Pop-Tart go in here. I'm a grown man, and I wouldn't even be like buying them would look weird for me. Look at me.
You can DoorDash it.
I don't DoorDash.
If he DoorDashed Pop-Tarts, Chris Hansen would deliver them to him.
Who were you expecting? A little boy. So that's my answer. Sorry, Megan. I feel like I've avoided the question, but
I got it from my kids.
You have kids, so that's
Had one after like 30 years. Had half. Almost went into a coma.
Yeah.
And that was the end of my Pop-Tart journey as an adult man.
Yeah.
Well, as the person possibly closest to diabetes in this entire room, I'm proud to say I like the brown sugar ones the best. Thank you.
Man.
Thank you.
Wow.
Not poll tested, by the way. I'm simply a man of the
He's just
people.
saying that to win the crowd.
I didn't know.
He's never had a brown sugar Pop-Tart in his life.
Pandering.
I have friends who eat brown sugar Pop-Tarts, though. Some of my closest friends eat brown sugar Pop-Tarts. So.
RFK Jr.
Podcast coming out soon, by the way. And that's not a joke.
Oh, RFK is starting a new podcast.
So I need to get in shape in the next, month.
He's using it to, tell people about nutrition and how the corporate...
So coming to my YouTube channel next month, the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. podcast.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. Yeah,
So,
I can't wait. Your
be
voice
fun.
is going to kick out. All right, well, folks, it's time to wrap it up. I appreciate those of you who've been here live. Huh? Oh, you didn't answer. Pop-Tart.
Oh,
sorry.
Man, I hate to be so basic, but the strawberry with the sprinkles on it don't miss.
You got an actual real answer. It sounds
that's the one they put on all the commercials.
How is my answer not real?
You said brown sugar. They don't put that on the commercial. I mean, you got to be in the deep. That's a deep cut.
You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. That's a fair. That's
it's a good. Nobody was against your answer.
Yeah.
This is my favorite.
Yeah.
Strawberry with the sprinkles, and if it don't got the frosting on it, that's some bullshit.
People.
When I'm healthy, I will go frostingless Pop-Tarts. That's what I'm on a
who's
health
that
journey.
struggle for? Who's that?
Who's that?
That's the tang of
That's just
patience.
sad.
Yeah.
I just felt like your answer was, and everybody did, more pandering than his was.
But how could I have known it was pandering, Pete? I just got here after a 50-hour train ride. I had no one to talk to.
While he was enjoying his tang for the 50 hours.
JL's like, rest in peace to D'Angelo. Brown sugar is the one I got to go with.
Yes.
Because I'm a man. I'm a soulful man that cares.
See that? Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Morrow, Wajahat Ali, JL Cauvin. We will all be... All right. That's it. That was it. That was the live podcast taping that I took part in. Of course, Rod and Karen did theirs, and you can go listen to that on The Black Guy Who Tips. I'm not sure if or when they're posting. I hope they will soon if they haven't, but they were great. Follow them everywhere on all social media. Subscribe and listen to their podcast. There's many listeners that listen to this one now listen to The Black Guy Who Tips, and I was so happy to kind of cross-promote with him and meet somebody in his audience. And I'm so happy that you were there, those of you that were there. That's the end of today's episode. Look for my conversation with Steve Hofstetter, available now on YouTube and Substack and Facebook. Did that from Vegas this morning, talking about the Eric Swalwell controversy. I will be back, hopefully tomorrow, with a show with Steve on it. And we'll see. I get home late tonight. Hopefully I can make it happen, but it might be late again tomorrow as well. Either way, can't do it without your support. Patreon.com/Pete Dominic. John Carroll, we missed you. We love you. Go to johncarroll.org right now and stream this song. Bye-bye.
Well, there's a whole lot more of us who know us right. They'll keep right on ignoring us if we keep sitting tight. You got to open up the window to let in some light. You got to stand up. That's right. You got to rise up. You got to stand up. You got to stare the devil straight in the eye. We got to let him know it's his off of your fence. Even if it ain't a very friendly audience, well, they'll begin to listen when you start making sense. And you stand up, stand up. No need to point your rifle to defend your town. Just stand up, stand up. You know they can't deny you what you're laying down. Oh, you better stand up, stand up. Show your face of every color, yellow, black, red, and brown. This is the place where every lost child will finally be found. There's only one thing to do before we stand our ground, and that's stand up, stand up. Well, the founding fathers saw a land for all. They had to stand up, they had to stand up. They had a keen imagination for a crystal ball, drawing all the plans of a stand up. But all they had to go on was the time they were in, with other causes for loss, and since they weren't in sin, they knew that change was gonna come before the change could begin. They had to stand up. All right, they had to stand up. We got to stand up. We got to look the devil square in the eye. We gotta let him know it's his time to go, and make it clear when all we hear is a lie. Why you lying awake wondering where the money all went? It'll be the cost of freedom that'll go unspent. You can see him flee the scene of that experiment if you stand up. Alright, we got to speak up, we got to reach up, and raise your voice in every way you know how. Don't be toes up, you got to show up. Ain't no better time to do it but now. No need to pledge allegiance to no wanton tribe. Rise up, show obedience to the voice inside, and listen well and it'll tell you not to run and hide. It says stand up.